I'm about to get my second tattoo in like a couple, 3 months.
Nice.
I've never done a consult.
Ooh.
And I'm wondering, so I do have an image. It's an old cave painting.
Sick.
50,000 years old cave painting.
The French ones or what?
Yeah, from Lascaux.
Sick.
Lascaux. Lascaux is how you say it.
I don't know how to pronounce this, but I just said the French ones.
Yeah. It's known. It's legendary
the
because
Warner Herzog ones.
Yeah, exactly. It shows like depth perception and animated movement in the animal world. Like I think a good 10,000 years before we have any other evidence of that level of perspective in the human brain.
Whoa, Jesus!
So I love it as a storyteller because it's sort of the first moving images. They say that by firelight, these bison with 8 legs rather than 4.
Whoa!
As it flickers, it would give the impression of the bison running.
That's wild.
Yeah. So there's a different painting in that cave I want to get. So I want to talk with the tattoo artist. And what's the protocol there? What's decorum? Because I kind of want to do it free because I want to see if the person vibes.
Yeah.
But how does it go? What's the order of events?
I would just say, like, come in with your, come in with an idea. Try to be, like, you can give, like, a little bit of a background or whatever. So it's pretty simple, really. I mean, come in with images, whether it's, at this point we're used to it on your phone. So whether it's printed images or on your phone, come in with, like, I like this shape or this shape or this shape, or see how, just try to be like specific and be like, ooh, see how this is shaded, or like this part of the thing is shaded a little darker than this one. And if you have a good tattooer, they'll listen and they'll like be like, oh, cool. I totally get you. Cause the last thing you want to, like, as a tattooer, the last thing you want to hear is being like, oh, well, they did this too bold, or they did this too blah, blah. And obviously there's like certain reasons that we have to do certain things, but usually we try to like communicate that, like, this line has to be bolder, or this has to be more simple because it's going to close over time, or whatever, But yeah, just bring in like your images, and then also maybe like do some research on like other tattoos that are cave painting tattoos, just to get your idea of what the tattoo could possibly look like. That way, because you're, in that sense, you're like speaking to our medium, like, oh, we know we're on the same page,
Somebody, I want to say in Germany, posted the exact cave painting I want in the exact location. Well, not exact, but approximate inside of the right arm.
Perfect.
And yeah, I would just bring that in because would a tattoo, would you be excited about doing a facsimile of a German tattoo of a French cave painting?
Yeah, that's awesome. I would be totally fine with it if it was me. I think there are some tattooers that would gripe about it, but you probably don't want to get tattooed by them. But yeah, images are, this is a thing in tattoo culture right now, is like, oh, do you copy that, or do you copy that, or blah, blah, blah. It's like everything under the sun is done already.
Everything's a remix in every art form.
Totally.
Something old, something new.
And ultimately, as the person getting the tattooed, you do also have to realize that you're first of all, you're a different human, so your skin is going to be different, and then the tattooer is a different person than that tattooer. So there are going to be little subtle differences, but again, I think those little differences or imperfections or whatever it may be, those add to its beauty. Ultimately, someone's sitting down and performing that tattoo and making that tattoo for you.
Wabi sabi.
Yeah. Wabi fucking sabi, baby.
How have masks changed your profession?
I think they've made us so much more aware of not aware, because we're tattooers and we're constantly like, we're so clean in there, but as far as just the actual like breathing of freaking bloodborne pathogens and shit like that, like, it's so, dude, I get so close when I'm tattooing that 100% like I've been breathing in blood and kind of gnarly shit. So for me, I'll probably try to tattoo your face.
Tattoos will bleed, okay, like sometimes.
Oh,
the needle will cause blood to come up.
Absolutely, every single time.
Wow.
It's so like,
and droplets of that. So are you wearing an N95?
I'm not. I probably should have been wearing it. A few of my coworkers have been wearing N95s, but I don't. They're so uncomfortable for me, and I've just been wearing like the regular. I don't like the cloth ones, like the homemade cloth or whatever. I just like the regular, like
the surgical blue and white
ones.
surgical.
Exactly, yeah.
Those are my favorite too.
They're just more comfortable for me.
I work in a restaurant.
Yeah.
And it's a dirty place. I don't actually want to be washing a mask. I do need single use.
Yeah.
It makes sense for my
it works with my glasses and stuff, so I think it's fine. But definitely some of my coworkers have been very a lot more probably strict about it than I have, you know. But our shop in general has been very strict about COVID and everything. Like we've done a really good job.
So 4 stars, good, COVID friendly.
I think
safe.
any shop really like that's worth its while has done. But yeah, we like built walls, like these half walls in our shop for a while that we were only having like 2 people tattoo, and then our boss tattoo like way on the other side of the building. So shit like
client could easily be the biggest risk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's been a thing, the masks is. But other than that, like I really don't mind. Like I eat weird food, so my breath is probably always weird. So I'm glad I'm not breathing in people's faces anymore.
I admittedly some days I don't brush my teeth before work because I know it won't impact anything.
Yeah. You're just like whatever.
Do you have a harder time communicating with your client without facial expression?
Not really. I don't think so, to be honest.
Yeah, because they're mostly not facing you and they're listening.
Oh well, I mean, as far as like I was thinking like beforehand or like when we're setting up the tattoo, but during the tattoo, yes, because I'm freaking deaf, and I do realize how, by looking at someone and hear, like if I could barely hear them, I could still see them talk, whatever, so I can kind of understand more. But I do realize that wearing masks, both of us, I'm like, huh, what? But I also just listen to loud music, and I have terrible hearing at this point, and I have a machine buzzing in my ear too. So it
is an image-based transaction too.
Yeah.
So it's nonverbal in its essence.
Yeah.
Have you ever refused to give a tattoo to somebody?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Well, there's people once in a while you don't really get like I know the swastika thing is like debatable now or whatever, but I'm not super into it personally. There's other people that are happy to give like good, quote unquote, good swastikas. Which if you're not aware of that, go do the research. It's very legit. I'm not super cool. I have Jewish friends that I've talked to that are just not into it no matter what. So I kind of want to respect them on that front. We've had people that have wanted to get like Confederate flags, and I'm just like, dude, fuck your Confederate flag. Get out of here,
Okay.
Shit like that.
Right to refuse service to anyone.
Yeah. I'm tattooing you. I don't have to do it.
And you're an artist.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, I don't.
Does it ever happen that
shit.
One artist in the shop doesn't want to do it, but another will?
Oh yeah.
And that doesn't cause
and that's more so.
infighting?
Honestly, that's honestly more so like body placement stuff.
Uh-huh.
Like there's one of our coworkers. She doesn't like to tattoo fingers. It's a pain in the ass,
Yeah.
Or palms. Like our shop really won't do like palms or like weird skin like that. It's just they don't heal well, and usually people are like, what the heck, So I'll do it. I'll like, and I shouldn't advertise this because it heals like shit, and unless you're like pretty tattooed up, you're gonna be bummed that your tattoo on your palm didn't heal perfectly. I'll do it very seldom, like if someone's pretty tattooed up or whatever, because I think it's cool. Like tattooing is also fun, and it's also an experiment. Every single time you're getting a tattoo or you're doing a tattoo, it's an experiment. Like, yeah, I've done this a lot now, so I kind of have it down to a system, but at the same time, it's still a total experiment. And I like that. So I'm like, I'll do some weird shit. But I have refused people that I just didn't like their character. There was like one person specifically, and he was just like, he added me on Facebook, and then he added me on Instagram, and through both of them, and then he started hitting me up about getting tattooed, and this was like a pretty specific case, but just through seeing his like posts and his character and stuff, I was like, yeah, I'm not your guy, dude. Like he was just like super misogynistic and just conspiratorial and just all the shit that I
see.
Like,
and whatever it is, once you sour on their personality, they're not going to get a good tattoo from you. It's Absolutely. Like asking for a recommendation from a teacher that doesn't like you. Yeah, don't do it. Interesting.
People will ask too. They're like, oh, what tattoos do you hate doing? And I'm like, honestly, it's not usually the tattoo. It's usually the person that makes the whole experience like a bummer. Like you could be doing the coolest tattoo ever, and if the person you're tattooing is like just like difficult or an array of different things and they're just bumming out the whole situation, then it makes that really, really fun tattoo to be really a bummer.
Will you talk someone out of a tattoo?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Because of the work itself, like you just don't think it fits their body, their aesthetic.
and again, like especially at this point in time, there's so many tattooers that you're gonna find someone to do that tattoo for you. Whether it's me or whoever. But
at least
I'm gonna
know from a couple people
absolutely.
First.
And they come into the shop. You came into the shop, or you hit me up directly. Like you're asking for my opinion, and I'm gonna tell you straight up. So I'm gonna say like there was this kid that he came in and he wanted and he's like 21.
Yeah.
How are we on time? Are we good?
We're good. Yeah.
And he was like maybe 2021, and he wanted his whole arm black, and exactly. And like, I love tattooing is so magical and powerful and transformative. But like, as a tattooer, we hold a really intense responsibility. Obviously, we're altering people's bodies forever. I mean, laser is here or there, whatever. But still, for the most part, we're altering people's bodies forever. And then it transforms their personality. It really does. Huh. And so it's our responsibility to be like, one, nobody here is probably going to do that giant black arm sleeve for you. And two, I'm like, why? Why do you want to do that? What's your thought process? Where's your mind at? Are you going through a breakup? Are you going through, because people will do that. They'll be like, oh, I just got my heart, I'm a different person, blah, blah, or whatever. Yeah. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get a face tat, all this like gnarly shit right away. And I get the impulse. I do. But at the same time, it's our job to be like, this is a serious thing, like getting your face tattooed is a massive
So if someone's
commitment.
Distraught, are you encouraging them to sit on it for a week or two?
In that case, I would specifically tell that person to be like, wait a month.
A month.
Or if you end up booking someone in, you might do that. You'll be like, okay, we'll do this tattoo in 2 months. Because they don't know.
You tell them your next available.
Yeah, exactly.
Is
I'm like,
when...
I can do this. I can have this ready for you in 2 months.
Okay.
Because you want them to think about it, and a lot of the times they'll bail on it. Because they're like, oh yeah, and it's also super damn painful to just get a black freaking arm.
And expensive. I mean, just the cost of the ink.
Yeah.
It's got to be astronomical, right?
I mean, it's what costs like what a sleeve would cost. Like we charge hourly or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot, and I love super transformative stuff like that, but it has to be for the right person.
Well, I'm wondering if that young man saw some of his role models perhaps with cover-up jobs. Do you think someone might have an all-black sleeve? Because
and that's the common thing is that it's a cover-up sleeve, exactly.
So don't start with the cover-up.
So
you can end there no matter what.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
Can you cover every color with black like that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay.
You can't do color over black, but you can definitely put black over a lot of other stuff.
If we've got a fine artist listening, ages, say, 15 to 25 or any age, and they want to... investigate tattooing for themselves, let them know what's the base ingredients for them to start as an apprentice. What are the things they've got to be accumulating, working on?
I would say get tattooed. It's maybe a hot take at this point, but if you don't have many tattoos, I'm not going to take you seriously if you want to tattoo. A lot of the people I respect aren't going to take you seriously if you want to tattoo. It's obviously it's an image, it's a visual art, obviously. But it is so much more than that. It is so deeper than that. You're dealing with people, you're dealing with... And that's funny because a lot of artists, a lot of fine artists, you don't want to fucking deal with people. You want to hang out in your cave and make paintings and, write your screen, you know what I mean? Write your movies, write your thing, do your thing alone, And tattooing kind of bridges that gap that it's a performative art. It's a social thing. And so that is one, you meet all these weirdos that want to be tattooers, but then they can't even have a freaking conversation with their client. And you're like, oh my God, this is cringeworthy. So that
it really is a hybrid role. It's a unique personality type.
Yeah. And like we were saying, it's an experience. So as a tattooer, I want to give someone a really nice tattoo, but I also want to give them a fucking amazing experience. I want them to leave that session or whatever and be like, I legit, and it sounds ridiculous, but I want people to be like, that was transformative. That changed my life. Because obviously it did. It changed your body. You're going to wear that for the rest of your life. I know the tattoos that I have been I've been blessed to have these amazing experiences, and they completely define who I am.
Yeah.
And it's funny when you talk about the severity of tattoos or and people are like, it's just a tattoo. What do you mean? And I'm like, you don't get it. It's okay.
I'll be a good 4 years between first and second tattoo.
Yeah, sometimes people do 20.
I'm not in a rush. I love tattoos, but it really matters to me.
Yeah.
The selection itself for me, the anticipation of Christmas, it's part of my tattoo experience.
Yeah.
I've gone through so many different ideas, different placements.
Yeah.
But this one keeps coming up, so I'm getting more and more comfortable.
Yeah, and you're like, okay, and you can kind of... What I try to tell people too is imagine yourself when you're 80 or something. And like, what do you look like as a human being? You know, not even tattoos or not, just like, what do you want yourself to look like?
You know what I imagine myself? In my casket.
That's awesome.
And what are the few select icons or images that I want to define myself? What do I want to speak? Cool. Yeah, speak for me when I'm passed.
I've kind of thought about that too, actually.
Like, what do I want to rep?
Yeah.
And the cross works in a cave painting. 50,000-year-old cave painting works.
That's so cool.
And I don't know what will be the third. Well, I have an idea. But I think I'll stop at 3. 4 would be the max.
3's a good number. See, you say that, but then in 20 years...
Yeah,
whatever,
there's a lot of time.
Okay, now it's time to add.
If I ever come into money, I might make some big mistakes.
Yeah,
get like some ink on my face or up by my ear. Or,
yeah. It's I just got my hands tattooed, and that was a really big deal for me.
Let me see them. Wow. So those stars are new.
The stars I got after I finished apprenticing, 4 stars, and then but these because like my boss and like a few other people have that.
That's awesome. 4 stars.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah, so good. That was cool. The first one I did on the fingers or hands. And then these were pretty new, and then I got these somewhat recently.
And people can see these on your Instagram at Miguel Chavez?
These tattoos?
Yeah.
No, I don't think I posted them on my own
Would
Instagram.
you put them up? Or are they too private? If you put them up, I'll share them in my stories so people can see them.
Yeah, if you want to take a picture and share it, you're welcome to. But
I'll
probably the artists, the ones that did my hands, it's a dove, and then it's a book that has the alpha and the omega symbol. Those are done by Aaron Dubois at Shrine, who's a great
Shrine
tattoo.
Shrine keeps coming up.
Is it
newer?
Dude. They're magical.
Why is it popping off?
It's very new. So Zach Scheinbaum. He moved back, and he and I think like Marie Senna and John Sultana. I feel like they're all partners. I could be wrong. I don't know, but they opened it. They're all incredible fucking tattooers, world class, great crew. And but Zach's from Santa Fe, and so he came home.
And Shrine's in his last name.
These little eyes, yeah. It's actually Scheinbaum, but Schrinebaum is kind of the joke. It's funny.
I mean, that's one of the best small business names I've ever heard. Let's go to the clay pot. It's a collection of fan questions, and I'll pull them out at random, one at a time. We'll do a few. See what we get. First fan question: what podcasts are you listening to right now?
Yes. Oh man. I can go through. I'll just name a few and then I'll rant about one. So Rich Roll, who is he's great. He's like almost like a Joe Rogan kind of. He's like a real well-known podcaster dude that I just found out a few months ago. He's a like recovering alcoholic, drug user, but he's got into like endurance athletics, and he's like put like a bunch of records out. I don't know if he does it quite as much anymore, but his interview base is just like all over the place. It's amazing. So good. Rich Roll. He's great. You'll find something that you are interested in. Lex Friedman is also another dude. Do you like Lex Friedman?
That's like serendipity. I feel just that I know about him and have watched maybe 10 or 20 of his episodes. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, he's so the spawn of Joe Rogan. I guess Joe Rogan kind of platformed him.
Yeah.
But he's an MIT professor.
But he's a freaking genius.
He's a genius.
I love his like character and personality.
He is a character. Okay.
And then one that I've been pretty obsessed with lately is called Living Myth. And that's Michael Mead. I don't know much about him. I know he's like a writer, author, philosopher dude. He's kind of an older guy. He has a really cool voice.
Voice is so important in this medium.
It's so important. It's totally so important.
There's some prejudice, isn't there?
But
like it's hard. Audio quality, production quality is important. The sound, like just that your voice is tolerable.
Yeah.
And it's not tolerable to everybody.
No.
But it's got to be something.
You're gonna have the people, I mean, the same thing with audiobooks. It's like, I can't listen to this. The voice is weird.
Yeah.
But Michael Mead specifically is amazing because his is all about like, he's just so smart, and he connects these like ideas of mythology and stuff through history, but he connects it to like real world stuff, and it's just a beautiful living myth. An old professor of mine, shout out to Natalie. She's a painter in LA. She's amazing, and she put me onto that podcast. It's so freaking good. And now you've
put it on to potentially 1,000 people in New Mexico.
Hell yeah, listen up.
I love this one. I'm glad you got it. The book you recommend to young artists.
Oh my god. To young artists? I mean, I'm thinking of like and I'm gonna forget the name now too. The one book that like it's not. I don't know if I'd necessarily say for artists, but just for me as like a seeking human being that like needed some sort of like headspace was Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind.
Huh.
It's a pretty short little book, but it'll just like completely like unravel your brain because it's like I forget the author. He was like a Zen monk. You can probably find it at like Savers. Anytime I find a copy at Savers or anywhere cheap, I get it and give it to somebody.
It sounds good.
But it's just about like Zen meditation and like the mind, how the mind is rat racing.
Dualities, dialectical thinking, holding opposing thoughts at the same time, and being at peace. Or...
Yeah, totally. And how to like deal with that and like kind of, it's very like, it's written kind of, you have to read it slow, like read it very slow because it's pretty intense. I've tried to give it to some people and some people love it and other people are like, this is terrible. I can't read this.
It's kind of like something you'd carry around and read in snippets.
Yes, absolutely. I know I'm going to think of another book, but right now I'm totally blanking. Anyway.
It's all right. We'll do one last fan question. Favorite New Mexican day trip?
Maybe Taos? Yeah.
Funny. It's been, I think, a good 30 episodes since someone said that, but someone said exactly that. Choreographer Sue West, episode 3.
Taos is the best.
What are you doing,
my dad's
Taos?
from Taos, so
I
have a lot of like.
So you got a house to chill out at?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, definitely. And for sure. I have family there, and my grandma just passed away last December. She would have been 104.
Wow.
But Taos is just a magical place, and the museum. There's a museum there that's amazing, and they have Agnes Martin paintings up there. The line paintings, those are awesome to check out. And I don't know.
Taos.
Pretty simple.
What's the number one thing that my listeners can do to help you right now? What's the call to action? Or maybe just get engaged with you, see your work.
The call to action?
Yeah.
In general or for me? I mean, obviously, like, I'm
you
so
can
grateful.
do in general. That would be fun. You can use your plug time for a message.
Be kind. Be kind. I mean, with everything like politically happening, like, I definitely, if you know me and if you like follow me or whatever, like I'm pretty vocal on like my opinions on shit, but like at the end of the day, I'm like, just listen to other people, like try, like, even if it's like your enemy or like you're dancing with the devil, like listen to them. And not that you're going to change your mind or whatever, but like, I don't know, there's some merit in like being able to listen to someone that you like extremely disagree with.
Yeah.
And like that you like hate their opinion. Like it's totally fine. You can still hate their opinion, but just listen to them. Like just be quiet and like see where they're coming from.
And you never know what you might find. Like
empathize. Yeah, absolutely. Because everybody comes to the table with a certain amount of something,
Yeah.
And a lot of the times it's not our choice, with why you're thinking the way you're thinking.
Exactly.
Yeah. Trying to unpack. Maybe see a therapist. That's been like my best. That's the plug. That's been like my best thing.
Be kind.
I did
see
all
a therapist.
It's like I got
Some
a
of us
therapist.
need to see the therapist
like
before we can be kind.
Freaking life changing.
Yeah, I've been in therapy on and off. I'm experienced.
Yeah,
and I agree
I'm
with
lucky.
you.
I found the best one ever. It's like she's the best,
okay.
so
I'll get a rec. I'll go get a rec from you after the show.
But yeah.
Last question before we go, Miguel. If you could change one thing about this podcast, what would it be?
About this podcast?
Artist with Brian.
Dude, this is a great setup. I don't know if I'd change anything.
Nothing. Cool. Well, we're going to phase out that question because we've been getting that a lot lately.
That's good?
Yeah. So
I will if we got a few more minutes. Can we rant a few more minutes or are we done?
Yeah, man. Let me have you sit here. So this is a live read of my 8 sticker partners.
Okay.
We do free ad swaps with local businesses and organizations. Sweet. And it's so boring when I do it after air. It's a little stilted, so there'll be some discovery for you here.
Okay,
who's partnered with Artists with
commentary.
Brian. Awesome. So I'll go kind of in the most recent order who's joined recently. If you live in Taos or are headed to Taos for this holiday season, visit a salty little sweet shop. 1 block off Taos Plaza, open 6 days a week. A boutique gourmet selection of cookies and everything else you might imagine. Flavors include Loco for coconut, Lucky number 7. Drop in, say hi to Holly. Check out photos of their confections on Instagram at a salty little sweet shop. Thank you to Yamas Greek Rotisserie, cheap, healthy Greek cuisine 7 days a week on Cerritos across from Chick-fil-A. They've got a new drive-thru, COVID-friendly, an awesome selection of drinks, desserts, sandwiches, salads, some greasy eats if you so desire. Yamas Greek Rotisserie on Cerritos across from Chick-fil-A. Cheap, healthy Greek cuisine 7 days a week. Give them a try. You can spend less than $10 here and get a real nice gyro. Go through the drive-thru, take it home, see what you think. Write them a review on Yelp. Support this relatively new business in Santa Fe, Yamas Greek Rotisserie. Thank you both. Thank you to Holly. Thank you to Jared, the owners of those two businesses. It's been a cool run with these sticker partners. Here are the rest. Thank you to the Rail Yard Conservancy. Volunteer any Tuesday or Thursday, 10 a.m. to noon, outside. Help the local nonprofit that manages one of the city's most ecologically interesting outdoor spaces. Visit railyardpark.org for more info. Thank you to Picnic New Mexico, a catering company. Cheese plates, grazing tables for parties, special occasions, and self-care.
You deserve the self-care. Let's be real.
I mean, my writing's too small, but her arrangements are impeccable. She's using the shape of food, the color of food, the texture
Beautiful.
of food as her palette.
So cool.
And they're affordable. Go check out picnic_NM on Instagram. Thank you to Noelle, the CEO of Sun Green Cleaners. Use code AWB10 for 10% off your first commercial or home cleaning. Ask for Noelle, AWB10, Sun Green Cleaner on Instagram. Thank you to Cry Like Donna, Santa Fe's premier tape label. Buy an indie cassette tape as a gift today. Shop crylikedonna.bandcamp.com.
Dude, cassettes are the shit.
Theo Krantz, CEO of that tape label, was guest number 4 on the show.
Awesome.
Thank you to Wayward Comedy. I go here every Wednesday night from 8 to 9:30. I perform. Sometimes I watch. You can perform or watch too. Sign up on a clipboard when you arrive. Wednesdays in Santa Fe at Chili Line on Guadalupe. 8 to 9:30 p.m. Wayward Comedy on Instagram. Thank you to Oasis Camper Vans. Craftsmanship so good, most of their customers are out of state. Check out the workmanship at Oasis Camper Vans on Instagram. Thank you to Santa Fe Human Rights Alliance, our very first sticker partner ever. Visit hrasantafe.org for a list of upcoming events. And last but certainly not least, a very special thank you to Santa Fe Independent Film Club. Every Saturday, 4 to 6 at Boxcar in the Rail Yard, open to the public. Visit the club that makes films with its members. If you run an organization or business in Santa Fe and you would like a shout out in this segment of the show and some place on my website, DM me at artistwithbrian on Instagram with spelled out all one word at artistwithbrian.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I feel like there should be a tune, a jingle.
A jingle, yeah. And all these organizations are handing out approximately 25 stickers for me.
Sweet.
As a way to propagate the brand. Maybe 4-Star would do it.
We need to make some more stickers.
Why? I give you 25 of my stickers to hand out. 4-Star gets advertised as a sticker partner. Something probably.
That'd be awesome.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe you can put me in touch with the right person.
No, absolutely.
I'm gonna top out at 10.
Yeah, we can definitely make that work. That'd be cool.
That would be dope.
I mean, I have my own stickers as well. They're not printed, or else I would I run out because I just give them away all crazy. So,
What was your last sticker?
it's actually this cool dove, because I like doves. But yeah, and then I had this cool like hand. Oh, right here. That was the last one.
Nice.
And
I like doves. Maybe
that was one before it.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
I made that into a pin actually.
So tattooers are sticker people.
Oh my god!
Naturally. So let's hook this up. Let's
such sticker people.
Let's have this side table be stickers of local tattoo artists.
Yeah.
That might be the most natural.
I'll print some more and all.
Yeah, and if you have any friends that you want to rep that you
Cool.
think have stickers that, I don't know, would
Yeah.
dig the show enough to be
Yeah.
associated. What do you want to rant about?
No, I wanted to. It's gonna bug me if I don't talk about it. But the cave painting stuff. So I've read or whatever. Have read that that the cave painting stuff is actually like they're painted before they go on the hunt.
Oh yeah.
So in my weird studies of whatever, that is like a thing where you design or you paint or you write about what you want to happen, and then things happen.
And what's the first most important story that's cooperative? We can dream stories on our own, but the hunt is the first critical in terms of like what's the story we tell that then we're going to procreate and other people will propagate that story. A successful hunt. Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah,
the Magdalenians, I think that's their name. This culture that made the Lascaux cave paintings.
Okay.
What was so remarkable about them is they had surplus, like agricultural surplus, way before like any of their neighbors. So they had an artisan class that would spend their entire day in these caves. They were full-time artists.
Whoa.
So yeah, I do think they use them for hunts, but it was like a ceremony.
Yeah.
So the cave painting was nice and permanent, and they would come in and visit and go out on the hunt.
Yeah. I mean, that's cool. It's cool because there's different practices that people still do now that, you write about what you want to happen with your life or whatever, or and use it sort of as like this like magical or spiritual practice. There was a comic book artist named Grant Morrison. Did you remember that dude? He's pretty well known still. He's done a bunch of like film or movie stuff. And he wrote The Invisibles and so it's a really interesting, it's a crazy book. You can get the whole anthology, but he was writing himself into the book, into the graphic novel, and freaking his life just starts like completely mimicking what's happening. It's insane. Like, and he's like, okay, I have to reel this back because like my life's falling apart.
I have a screenplay concept about that called Coca.
Be careful.
Where a kidnapped novelist puts the aging drug lord into his book.
Oh, okay.
It's symbiotic.
Oh, okay.
Because the drug lord commissions an autobiography, like a narrative, like a childhood coming of age story that lionizes him.
Okay.
And then the novelist gets to start manipulating reality.
Very cool.
And frees himself.
That's super
Coca,
cool.
if anyone wants to invest, DM at Artist with Brian.
Do it up. It sounds like it's a worthwhile
you know what my girlfriend said about this thing you're bringing up? She says everything that exists started as a thought.
Yep.
And then that's what you reduce it to that, and the law of attraction is really does hold water.
Yeah, it's funny, like the whole like law of attraction or the secret stuff, like it gets like shit on, I think, but it's like it's so freaking real and powerful, and like I love it, dude. I'm full on like I believe it, It's like it's in my life, it's totally made difference with
in
like
the last
intention.
year. How is it working? Intention and receiving.
The first thing that I don't know. I've been trying to like be more aware of like my health, my fitness. As like tattooers, we just sit around and I don't eat as well as I should, but like I've sort of have manifested that I like have this vision of what I want to look like and what I want to feel like all this stuff and be able to do longer hours. You're fitter,
yeah,
exactly. I mean,
hours.
and then even like thinking of like if I have kids and stuff, and like I don't want to be like I want to be able to like run around with them and like do all this crazy shit with them. And so it like sort of envisioning that. And I've been really good at like, I don't know, I felt a shift in my brain that was like, before it was like a chore to go exercise and stuff. And now I'm like super excited to do it. And it's been that it's funny. I'm almost at a year of like consistently being like exercising regularly and everything, and I'm like super proud of myself for it.
Very good. You've got all the momentum in the world.
I have the
momentum. Are you gonna level up? Are you gonna like increase what you're doing when you work out?
I definitely, and it's been a slow. I also really want to get into, I mean, more so I want to get more into like running. And it's cool because now I'm saying it's on air. I don't know if this is gonna be in the podcast, but I'm saying it. So now I have to do it, but I want to get more seriously into like running, like long distances and shit like that. Like those are pretty big goals of mine.
It's pretty, speaking of like what we've evolved to do, running.
Right.
I think it soothes the soul.
Oh
If
my
you're
God.
physically healthy enough to do it, it leads to injury so often. Just
I know, and
ankle,
that's-
knee pain.
Yeah, I did something to my knee that's jacked me up, but I've been still consistent with the elliptical, which has been actually I was clowning on the elliptical for a while, but the elliptical is pretty badass.
Yeah, as a heart pumper.
Yeah, totally. It's not
totally.
running, obviously, but as getting the workout, still doing it.
The most
it's been
important
amazing.
muscle it
Right?
uses.
There you
Yeah, it
go.
works the most important
There you
muscle
go.
and almost nothing else. I've used the
Yeah.
elliptical to lose weight in brief periods of my life.
Yeah,
Pretty funny.
I'm loving it. But yeah, I don't know.
And what's your hunt? Do you pause to tell a story? Is it the tattooing?
What?
Do you vision? Do you do in swimming we would what did they call it? Just envisioning the race? Do you envision the tattoo going
that's
well
funny.
and all the
used to-
steps?
Yeah, I used to do that a lot. I still sort of do it, especially if it's kind of a project that I'm a little nervous about, or that I'm like really want to just like I'm passionate about this specific thing. I'll do that. Yeah, I totally will. I'll be like, okay, I'll go through the steps exactly. I'll be like, okay, this is what I'm gonna, these are the tools that I'm gonna set up to use on this. This is how I'm gonna shade it. I'm gonna make a color study, or I'm gonna, get this person to weigh in on the drawing, and because I can get kind of shy with it, and like. But if I'm like, okay, no, I need this to go right. Then I'm like, tell me what you think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll go through the steps of it. And even just like in my career, in my future, I'm like, where do I want my career to go, or like, how do I manage to tattoo and also have a painting practice and an art practice and do both of them or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Like be like trying to become the most full artist
Absolutely.
that I can become.
I think these long-term goals for me, they help me the most. They give me a heading, but they also tell me where I'm deficient and how I would need to grow into that vision I have for myself.
Do you get pretty like critical of yourself?
Ooh, I used to as a writer. I am my own toughest critic, but I encourage myself a lot more now.
Yeah.
I make sure I sort of have a shotgun approach. I'm doing a lot of art forms, and I'm being prolific. And it's liberated me. I don't feel emotionally attached to any one thing. So I can accept feedback. I can iterate. I can improve kind of at a crazy rate right now.
Amazing. See, that's where I needed. I felt like when I was in college, I was sort of at this like prolific state. But now, especially with just going through like the rigors of like really trying to hone in tattooing, like from a craft perspective, that kind of like had me focused in a different way. But now I'm right like in this time, I'm at this moment that I really need to like kind of blossom and like open up
go from rudiments to voice.
Yep, exactly.
You need to find your authentic voice, your style.
Absolutely. And I know it's so strange because I'm like, I know it's in there, and I know that like I take so much I love just learning and like taking so much information from all these different things that I'm like, some things in there that I need to like figure out how to like
it sounds
express.
like you should write. I think you need to write. I was like, well, why don't you just sketch a lot of shit? And it's like, no, you've been doing that.
Yeah.
Why don't you write that? Yeah. I think you're on the right path.
Totally. And for some reason, I don't know why the writing, also just reading fiction a lot lately has been like very helpful. Like normally I read more like nonfiction, but like reading fiction has been like very like sparking my imagination. Like I don't remember it doing, but yeah, I think the writing thing is pretty important now. But I'm excited.
All right,
really
man.
Excited.
I had a great time talking to you.
Dude, we could go on, I'm sure.
And you know what? Everyone listening, Miguel, I hope you do my second tattoo.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay, so more to come. We'll post that when it happens.
Out. Yeah, that sounds fun. I love those cave paintings. So.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me, dude.
Beautiful. You're listening to Artist with Brian. I'm Brian here with
Jeff Gonzalez.
Jeff is a filmmaker, sound editor, music producer. I dig it, man. I say we try it for season 3. Do you want it at the beginning and the end?
Yeah, I think it'll sound great.
I say I thank you every episode at the end. Like, I'll shout out your Instagram handle for your music if you have one.
To cater to your taste.